for those, for the folks that have just maybe bought a puppy or whatever, do you have any quick little, maybe a couple of house training tips or
I do.
That you could share with us?
Amen. Well, first of all, I have a book. It's titled Housebreaking: 10 Steps to Success. All right. Number one tip: be patient.
I think you have it right here.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do, as a matter of fact. Be patient. Oh my gosh. Again, these are slow maturing mammals. If you read somewhere or there's a book titled, "We Can Housebreak Your Dog in 7 days," walk away.
Yeah.
That is not happening. So number one, be patient. Number two, be quick. Learn the fundamentals behind training. And one of those is that these young animals, like young children, have to have any sort of reward or any sort of correction timed perfectly, almost instantly. And so many people forget about that. They come home, they find that their dog has gone potty, and then they decide to correct it then.
Right.
But now the dog won't associate that correction with the event of going potty.
Right.
So again, learn some of the fundamentals. It takes about 1 to 2 seconds if you ever want to say, "Wait, that was awesome, great job," or "Bad job."
Right.
You know, for doing that. So that's two: timing, patience, and then lastly, I love to use treats in training. I love to use them. However, I don't use it in housebreaking. Okay. And again, you'll find out more if you're reading the book, but long story short, these young mammals have the ability to hold a lot more than what we can imagine. Wolves actually use their urine and their scat as a tool. So these young puppies can go outside with a 100% full bladder, let out 10%, turn around to get that treat that is timed with going potty that they learn real quickly within the first couple of days. You give it to them thinking your young dog has gone potty. You come back in the house, you get ready for work, walk back in the room, and you go, "Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
I just took you out 10 minutes ago."
Right.
So those are three of the really important ones. Number one, just be on top of your dog, catch it all the time. If you don't, the young animal will soon learn it's not dangerous to go potty in the house. It's simply dangerous to go potty in front of you.
Right.
So now you have this inconsistency. So be consistent, correct in the amount of time or reward in the right amount of time. And also don't use treats. Save them for other behaviors. You will sidetrack and derail your training in a hurry with that. And then just be patient. Those are some of the most important steps.
Do you, just speaking of thinking about the puppy training, what do you think about crates and the use of crates?
Love crates, but here's the one thing that I want people to understand. You keep hearing me talk about the wolf. Our dogs still share 99.8% of their mitochondrial DNA. And if you study behavior in biology, you learn really quickly that the two are intertwined. They're inseparable. One thing about our puppies, if you ever watch a puppy, they will crawl up underneath your desk where you're working. They'll snuggle into a sofa. They'll get underneath your coffee table. They like to nest. They want a den environment. Because that is safety in their mind. Safety number one. So if you use a crate, which I highly recommend, I like the enclosed crates. The ones that are not the wired kennels. That's us being anthropomorphic. Meaning, if you're going to put me in a crate all day, I do want one with a 360-degree view, fresh light and natural light and air coming in. It's not what your dog wants. And that's been tested by UC Davis many years ago. Definitely put them in an enclosed crate, and I use that crate because it's vital that during housebreaking, you have to catch the puppy every time it tries to go potty in your house. And there are times in which you can't watch your puppy. Life goes on. Even though you got a puppy, dishes still have to be done. Laundry has to be done. Kids have to be picked up from school. You have to just go on with life. And then not to mention, you're a veterinarian, what these puppies ingest. So if you can't watch your puppy, so it's not always just about housebreaking. It's about the Apple TV remote that they just swallowed. It's the pair of socks that they just swallowed. Again, if you wouldn't leave a toddler, a human toddler, unsupervised in your house, why in the world would you leave a dog unsupervised? So again, the crate is a great place to put your dog up, shut the door. They all love it. They get used to it, and they love it. And then you can go about life and know that your puppy is safe and comfortable.
I've always used that, or gone back to saying, dogs are den animals. I mean, they will find a place to burrow in the nests, like you said. And now I haven't thought about talking about the wire versus the open crate versus the closed crate. I love that. So I'm gonna take that and adopt that now in terms of my conversations with clients. Let's see. Do you have any, like, in terms of again puppies? What are some more challenging breeds of either maybe it's behavior or some house training? Do you have any? If people are saying, "Hey, I'm kind of interested in getting a puppy," which ones are going to be a little more difficult to house train and/or behavior issues?
Yeah, before I answer that specific question, let me lead in with one or suggestion. People ask me all the time that very question. Bryan, I'm thinking about getting a dog. Any recommendations? I always say, look down the road. In other words, think about the animal that you're about to purchase. Think about it 2 years from now. Because we all fall for the puppy eyes, and because they're all cute. I don't care what they are. They're all really cute. And you just want to take it home right then. Think down the road. Make sure you get a dog that matches your lifestyle. If you're a runner, get an active dog. If you're not an active person, don't get an active dog. And also base it upon your abilities. Have you owned dogs before? Or are you a little person and you're about to get this big Cane Corso? Think about it. Think down the road. Because you need to have the mindset that I can safely manage the animal. I have enough muscle power. I have enough knowledge. I have enough time. All of these come into account, and we have to think about not the instant gratification, emotional, oh my gosh, it's so cute, I want to take it home. So that being said, consider all of those first. Now, you have taken all those into account. Let's talk about breeds. My specialty, more than anything else, is dog aggression. And I wrote a book titled The Hammer, Why Dogs Attack Us and How to Prevent It. Pure fact, 74% of the fatalities that occur in this country happen from a breed known as the pit bull. Again, love them or leave them. I'm stating pure fact. Okay, a challenging breed to own. Very challenging. And then any other breeds that can be challenging simply have that statistically what we've engineered them to be. Beast of burden, huskies can be very difficult to own. Rottweilers, difficult to own. These are animals that were not bred originally to really work that closely alongside mankind, to work more independently, like the Great Pyrenees, dogs of this sort. Dogs who were engineered by mankind to work collectively with us and alongside of us, like herding breeds, Australian Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, Labradors, cattle dogs, the list goes on and on. These are animals that, A, have already a harmonic resonance with us, and they're a little bit faster about solving problems. Think about it. I have to get these sheep with that group of sheep, the whole group together in that pen over there. And that's high problem solving for some humans, let alone the dog. So again, think about the room you have, how big is your home, how much time do I have, how much muscle power do I have? What is my knowledge? Take all that into account. But those other breeds, the Pit Bull, the Rottweiler, Cane Corso, Great Pyrenees, Siberian Husky, these are all in the top of difficult dogs to own. And again, not just my opinion, but also that of many of those dog owners who have volunteered to provide information and feedback as to their ownership. They're
definitely not for the faint of heart. And certain people definitely can have them, and like you said, activity level for your family and that kind of thing. But you got to be committed, when you have a certain breed like that.
Yeah, you have to think it all the way through. Sometimes I see people, and I honestly think to myself, what were they thinking? Really, you're 78 years old. I get it that you're in great shape, but this is a Weimaraner. And you live in a 2-bedroom condo. Think it all the way through. Really do your research. When I say research, a lot of it. Talk to owners of that breed if you can. Don't always take the word of the breeder. Remember, they're in business. They want to sell their product. They want their product to go out the door. Try to talk to parties who stand outside that bubble.
Right.
and can give you honest, real honest feedback. Because again, it's all about success, about safety, and the dog's going home with you and living with you till the day it passes. That's what it's all about. That's what we should strive to have. And if we match dogs closely to those suggestions, we're going to do a whole lot better job.
Well, that's a good segue into it, kind of as we wrap up, maybe. But talk about we've worked with you probably a lot, and mainly with some of our dogs that do have behavior problems, whether it's aggression towards people or whether it's dog-on-dog aggression. So what do you guys offer here? What do you, in terms of training those dogs, and how do you work with the vets and the clients?
Well, I specialize, again, with the aggressive dogs, but more at a higher level, what we call canine pharmacotherapy. Now, canine pharmacotherapy is when we diagnose, I will evaluate dogs. If someone has a very aggressive dog that's attacking either humans or attacking dogs or a combination thereof, because we get a lot of those as well.
Sure.
And the dog is typically, about the time our phone rings, about a year, year and a half to 2 years old. And the owner has tried training, but it did not work. They've tried many things, but the dog's condition is immune to that. These are animals who are possibly suffering from a mental disorder, just like a human being, just like a human. And we sometimes forget that.
Right.
I have clients that are psychologists, psychiatrists, and they never thought about their dog actually suffering from the same condition as their clients.
Right.
But they do. So one of the first things that we do here is determine, is that the cause or is it not? Is it just behavioral, maybe mismanagement from the owner, putting the dog in a bad situation, one in which it could not win? Or is it a dog that the owners have tried really, really hard? They've done all the right treatments, and they tried everything.
Right.
It's just that the dog is actually suffering from a physiological problem. It has a degradation in brain neurons, serotonin is down, dopamine, norepinephrine, you name it. These are animals who will not be able to properly assimilate the information coming into their brain. And hence, the behavior. Heck, we came up with words for it. Paranoid. Yeah, we have some dogs that, you could call them that. They view every human as a threat. Everyone, no matter, you're offering a treat, they try to take my hand off. You're saying, oh, what a lovely dog you are. And they're trying to attack you. They see every dog, whether it be a little puppy to a large dog, as a threat. So again, you can apply some words: depression, phobic, paranoid. Same thing to dogs. So when people have a very fearful or unusually aggressive or anxious animal, where you're just sitting there going, what's up with my dog? It's panting, it's shaking, it's trembling. It's really just, gosh, I don't get it. Come see me. That's what I do. I try to evaluate the animal and determine what is the cause. And then once we know the cause, then we embark. And many times, it's just training.
Right.
That's all it is. Hey, don't let your dog rush the door.
Right.
Let it stay. Let people see the dog at a distance. The dog sees the human at a distance. But sometimes I have to call upon you, and that's when I contact you, Dr. Kelsey, can we give 80 milligram of fluoxetine or clomipramine or so on and so forth? And that's when I have to rely upon you.
Right. And I think one of the things you've said, or you even said before, is, of course, those are not fixed in weeks. I mean, those are months, sometimes years. I mean,
yes. Sometimes a lifetime.
A lifetime.
Yeah, it can definitely be that. There are no quick fixes. If a dog is determined to be suffering from any sort of clinically maladaptive condition, I advise clients right then, you're looking at a minimum of 6 months down the road. And we don't use the word cure in this business.
Right.
We use negotiated settlement. What are you willing to settle for? Can we achieve a higher quality of life for the animal and yourself? And can we mitigate any risk in owning that animal? And that's what we try to do.
You're taking a dog that's an 8 or 9 out of 10. If you can get to even a 3, 4, or 5, is success.
That is success.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely. If I can take an animal who wants to claw its way through a wall to get into a closet during a thunderstorm, to an animal who curls up on the sofa concerned, that's success.
Yeah, right.
That is success.
Right.